the floor? Very good. Thank you very much, Hanis. The rest, are you okay? Can you hear? Can you see our screen clearly? Great, thank you. Thank you all. Okay, so let's get started. Good afternoon and good evening, everyone. Welcome to these virtual sessions on the sharing for Term 1 2025 MICPA program offered under UOW Malaysia. My name is Chan Zikang, the Academic Department Head for the Professional Accountancy Centre, PAC in short, from the Glenmarie campus of UOW Malaysia, one of the newly appointed learning providers for MICPA program. Together with me in this afternoon is Grace from MICPA itself, and also colleagues from MICPA, Ashraf as well. So Grace is going to give a very quick sharing about MICPA qualifications, because together with me this afternoon we have representative from the Big Four, PwC, Deloitte. Welcome on board. Thank you very much for your time. And we also have students as well who are listening. So maybe the first 20 minutes or so, Grace would take everyone through to understand a little bit more on the latest developments for MICPA in collaborations with CANZ in organizing the advanced stage examinations for the qualification. And then I will take over the floor to introduce a little bit on the program design, the cost structure of the MICPA, starting from Term 1 next year onwards. And of course, what are the sponsorship programs that we are having to be prepared to support the students and also the working adults from the firm. So feel free to just drop me either a direct message on the questions in the chat box, or you can just wait until the end of the sessions to have a live Q&A. We're more than happy to take on and answering the questions. So without further delay, I will pass over the floor to Grace to kickstart the session. Grace, over to you.
Thanks, Mr. Chan. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Hope that you're all doing great, and thanks for taking the time to spend with us this afternoon. Of course, we're very honored to have UOW Malaysia as our new tuition provider. So definitely hope to see many of you choosing to study the MICPA CANZ program at UOW. So before we kick off today, I'm going into learning more about our new the MICPA CANZ Qualifying Programme, in case some of you are not aware about it. Maybe if I could just see in the chat, like any one of you has heard about this program before, you know about it, can you just type in the chat for me to see some responses from you guys? Any of you have heard this before, or just say yes, have an idea of detail. Okay, never mind. I think move on then. So this program is a dual qualification. Okay, it's offered by MICPA, the only Malaysian professional accountancy body, and Chartered Accountants Australia and New Zealand, which is the most highly regarded professional accounting body down under. Okay, so we have formed a collaboration to offer the MICPA CANZ qualifying program so that all of you can then qualify as a professional and call yourself a certified public important thing. Okay, on top of that, you know, the structure has changed. It's actually been renewed 2 years ago to include technology-related content, new subjects like data analytics and sustainability. So that's going to help ensure that our professionals are ready for the future, and they are also tech-savvy accounting professionals. So I think that's something that will add a lot of value to you in your future career as a professional accountant. So I'm going to play a quick video just to give you more insight into this partnership that we have with Chartered Accountants Australia.
You can wait for the future, or you can create it. You can climb to the top in your career and embrace technology to elevate your work. As a professional accountant, you can save a business, run a business, and make shaping the world your business. Because the best way to evolve with the changing world is to lead its transformation. Become a difference maker, an accountant who creates larger impacts in industries and communities of every size. Grow your accounting career with deep expertise from the Malaysian Institute of Certified Public Accountants, curated especially for Malaysian businesses. And with our partner, Chartered Accountants Australia and New Zealand, gain a unique perspective to craft world-class solutions across all areas of accounting and finance. Shape yourself to shape the future, together with our ecosystem of experts. MICPA, powered by Chartered Accountants, ANZ. Create your tomorrow.
So yes, indeed, the opportunities are endless and you can definitely shape your future with this program. Okay, so it is globally recognized, as mentioned. We have a lot of our young members who have gone on to work in countries like the US, UK, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, Japan, Hong Kong, Singapore, you name it. There are members working all over the world. And it could be you using this qualification. It can take you around the globe. Just want to share a quick testimonial of our recent Most Outstanding MICPA Student Silver Award winner in 2023. She's actually a UiTM graduate who was under Yayasan Peneraju sponsorship, which is what we're here to also promote to you today. And she really appreciated the dual qualification, the structure of the program, open book assessments. And I think the open book part, why it's so appealing is that it's really not about memorizing. When you do a professional qualification, you don't want something that's just going to train you how to sit for exams. You want something that will help develop those professional skill sets. How do you analyze? How do you solve problems? How do you provide solutions to your clients? These are the kinds of skills that you need to pick up. And our program is designed to help you to do that. So you see what she says about how it ensures that she truly comprehends the material that she learned rather than merely memorizing it. And the most valuable aspect was the practical and industry-oriented approach to learning. So I think what you want is to be ready for the industry, right? When you go out to work, you're ready to actually help your clients and apply your knowledge in the real world. Okay, so a little bit of background about MIA. MIA is actually a regulator of the accounting profession, and anyone who wants to call themselves an accountant in Malaysia has to register with the MIA. This is a requirement set out by the Accountants Act 1967. So few things to point out here. MICPA is recognized by MIA. So if you are a MICPA member, you can become an MIA member. Secondly, there is a huge demand for accountants in Malaysia. You can see that there is a big gap. Currently, just under 40,000 accountants, but we actually need 60,000. And this number was set out by the government. And we've revised the target date from 2020 to 2030. So I think, even in a 5 or 6 years' time, we will still be quite far from this gap to reach this target. So, as accounting students, I'm very sure that you would have a lot of prospects in this career moving forward in Malaysia, especially. But having said that, even globally, there is a huge demand for accountants. Okay, so a little bit of differences between MIA and MICPA. So as mentioned, MIA is a regulator. And once you become an MIA member, you can carry the title Chartered Accountant Malaysia or CAM. But bear in mind that because it's a regulatory title, it's only recognized in Malaysia. Whereas for MICPA, we are a professional body. So when you do our program, you've completed additional subjects, you've really gone in depth into the subject matter. Once you have fulfilled all the requirements, you become a member carrying the title Certified Public Accountant of Malaysia. And this title is internationally recognized. You can bring it with you wherever you go around the globe. So MICPA is the only Malaysian professional body established since 1958, just a year after independence. And we are a founding member of IFAC, the International Federation of Accountants. And why is it that every country around the world has their own professional body? It's because you need to be very proficient in the local requirements for doing business. So here in Malaysia, we are the ones who are the experts in all the standards, laws, requirements that dictate how businesses should operate in Malaysia. So that's why we actually are playing a very important role to keep our members updated on Malaysian requirements. Okay, since 2009, we formed a partnership with CA ANZ, and that's why you have that dual qualification. Those of you who have heard that MICPA was a very, very tough professional qualification, you probably heard, right? Back in those days, before 2009, it was a very, very tough program. But with that difficulty level, it actually brought the value of the MICPA qualification up a lot. So people really look up to MICPA members, knowing that they are very strong technically. And you'll see in our council, we have the managing partners of the big accounting firms sitting in our exco and council. And we also can link you to employment if, our candidates, especially, we're more than happy to assist our candidates because you do need to fulfill at least 3 years of relevant work experience with an approved training employer, of which all of these are our ATEs. These are just a few of our members in industry. We're also very proud of many of our successful members. And so, yeah, this could be you one day holding all these important positions. So why should you consider this qualification? First of all, you want global recognition. And as mentioned, we are a founding member of IFAC. And to add on to that, we are also giving you access to the Global Accounting Alliance through the MICPA CANS program. So just to share with you, what is this GAA? It's a group of 10 of the world's top accountancy bodies that have agreed to support each other's members free of charge. Why? Because if you recall what I said about you need to be experts in the local requirements, and it's impossible for MICPA to know every single country's requirements, right? So you need the local body in the respective locations to help you out. And that's where being part of the GAA will be very, very useful for you because each of these bodies will help you out if you need it when you go to that country, Canada, US, Scotland, England, Wales, Ireland, Germany, Japan, Hong Kong, South Africa. And of course, this is because of our tie-up with CA ANZ, where you'll get support in Australia and New Zealand. Dual qualification. So that's also very attractive. When you do one program, you get 2 recognitions. So that's really something attractive. And if you're wondering, do you need to be a member of MICPA and CANS? And so I just want to add that although you are a member of 2 professional bodies, CANS is now giving a very, very special rate to its members who go through the MICPA CANS pathway. So you pay about close to 1/3 of what the Australians will be paying in Australia and New Zealand. Okay, so it's a very, very good discounted rate. And although the program is exactly the same as Australia and New Zealand, the only difference will be the tax paper because it doesn't make sense for you being in Malaysia to learn about New Zealand or Australian tax. It's better that you are more familiar with Malaysian tax because you will be practicing here. And once you have understood the concepts in Malaysian tax, you can then work anywhere else because it's going to be so much easier for you to pick up on other countries' tax laws later on. Okay, employment opportunities, I kind of touch on how MICPA does support its candidates by linking them to employers for the 3 years practical experience. And most importantly, you want a program that's going to develop the right skill sets in you. Okay, no point learning about memorizing and being good at answering exam questions. It's really being prepared for the real world. And that's the program that I'll be sharing with you in a short while. First of all, how do you get into the program? So we've recognized the diploma or degree in accounting that has been accredited by MICPA or CANS. And if you've done a diploma, you will need to start with the professional stage exam or PSE and then move on to the advanced stage. But if you've done a degree in accounting, for instance, like the UOW degree, you can get exempted from the professional stage and go straight into the advanced stage. Okay, so I'll be focusing on the advanced stage today because most of our students actually come in from the degree level. So you need to have completed the advanced stage along with 3 years of mentored practical experience, and fulfilling these two criteria will allow you to apply for membership and carry the membership titles. Okay, so this is the advanced stage or MICPA CANS qualifying program. Yeah, you might be thinking there's quite a number of boxes here, but I just want to draw your attention to the duration of each subject. So you can see that the first subject is 2 weeks long, and you see an asterisk next to core 1. What this means is there's no exam. It's purely coursework. Okay, the ones without the asterisk means there is a final exam. Okay, so some of these subjects, most of them are 8 weeks long. There's only one that's 14 weeks, which is Malaysian tax, and electives, which are 6 weeks, and you only need to choose one. So all in all, there are 4 subjects with a final exam. The rest are coursework based. Okay, it's a very flexible program. You can be studying this program full-time or part-time. And what I wanted to highlight also is the passing rate. That's very important for you to know, right? Since we started this new program structure in 2022, the average passing rate to date is a very strong 81%, which is very good indication that if you put in the effort, if you make sure you understand, you can actually pass. Okay, so just want to highlight how long does it take to complete everything. If you were to study full-time, it's possible to complete in about 1 year plus. So depending on the subject offerings when you start the program, it could be between 1 year to 1 year, 3 months. If you're working and studying at the same time, you might want to pace yourself and adjust your schedule according to your work schedule. Maybe you can take 2 to 3 years to complete because you still need 3 years of work experience to complete anyway. So you might as well, within those 3 years, complete as quickly as you can. Everything is open book. Exams are all online. You can sit for them anywhere. It can be at home, in the office. Yeah, so it's very, very flexible. And I just want to also show you what kind of assessments do you do for the 4 subjects with exam and without exam. So even with exam, the exam component is only 60% weightage. That means the other assessments cover 40%. So there are written assessments, there are sometimes workshops where you just need to participate and you get marks for that. And in ICAP, the final subject, your very first subject, ethics and business, does have some group work in a workshop, and you need to do a recorded group presentation. And for the rest, either written assignments or recorded presentation. So I just want to highlight, we added this subject, ethics and business, as an intro to a very important core value of accountants. Risk and technology is also important because you learn about business risk, about technology that businesses use, and also an intro to data analytics. Core 3, 4, 5, and 6, these are pillars in accounting that you have to learn. Electives, you can choose one. 2 very popular electives are data analytics and insights, as well as sustainability for accountants. And you'll find that businesses today really need professionals who have these skill sets and knowledge in these areas. You will end with a case study called ICAP, Integrated Chartered Accounting Practice, a very interesting real-life business case. So our scholars have shared some very positive feedback how it trains their thinking skills, develop their soft skills, time management, adaptability, engaging digital resources. And I want to share with you a quick video about the portal that you will have access to in the program. So let me just share that now.
Technology is impacting accounting practices in new and exciting ways. At Chartered Accountants, we know our members want to grow their capabilities and future-proof their careers in parallel with this changing landscape. We want to help them on that journey and set them up on the right path for the future. 3 years ago, we set out on a journey to evolve our program. We listened to our members and candidates, and they told us they wanted flexibility, relevance, and choice in their studies. The new CA program stays ahead of the changing accounting profession and offers greater choice, flexibility, and support for candidates and their employers. The new CA program offers authentic learning experiences via case studies that mirror real-life scenarios. They're designed to encourage critical thinking and help candidates practice and reflect. Easy to navigate. Provide tips and tricks to complement the content. The new CA program's My Capability Learn provides candidates with a holistic overview of the subject, flexible and interactive way to build skills, engage with subject content, and connect with peers through discussion forums and live workshops. The new CA program's interactive digital study guide is designed to complement candidates' preferences for flexible learning while upholding our commitment to environmental sustainability. We've partnered with Wiley and Vital Source, so the study guide is linked directly from within subjects. Candidates can learn whenever, wherever, and however they want via a range of helpful features and language functionalities such as Read Aloud. The study guide is accessible to candidates in online exams, so they can see both the text and the notes they've made. It can be synced across up to 5 devices, so it can be used on the go. We've designed the new CA program to better connect candidates to their peers and industry and meet them where, when, and how they like to learn. The future is here, so discover the possibilities today.
So that was a bit about the portal. There's also a place where you can ask questions in there, but really want to highlight that making full use of this portal will really be able to support your studies and success in this program. So for the 3 years mentored practical experience, you have to work with an approved training employer or ATE, and we have a lot in either the accounting firms or commerce and industry. So as long as you're working in one of these firms and there's a mentor allocated to you, we will recognize your work experience. So I've covered a lot of these. I just want to highlight that, for sponsorships for this program are also available. Many ATEs do provide funding, but we also have sponsorships from various sources, and I'll be sharing especially on Yayasan Peneraju today. Okay, so if you really want to stand out and be different from your peers, choose to do this program. Things you'll find that, in a world where everyone has the same qualification, this will help you be different. So for those of you who have not graduated, we have the student sponsorship program. You can start the program in year 4 and you'll be sponsored by one of these employers shown on the right-hand side. You get internship, sponsorship, and also a conditional full-time job offer upon graduation. So 3 in 1. So this is something really interesting. And as long as you're doing a 4-year degree, you can apply for this. And want to highlight about Yayasan Peneraju. We have sponsorship for undergraduates. So what this provides you is sponsorship to start in year 4, and you need a minimum CGPA of 3.2. For those of you who are graduates, you can target push sponsorship. It's also by Yayasan Peneraju for those with less than 5 years of working experience after graduation. You can also apply for this, and it covers all your fees. Okay, so something very interesting and a great opportunity which you should grab a hold of. And you should apply now because it closes at the end of this month. So you can scan the first code to register your interest with MICPA. I think later probably UOW will also share their own code where you can also connect with them, and they'll help to ensure that you apply and choose the right fields when you're applying. They'll guide you on that. The second one is the Metro C Yayasan Peneraju application form. And the third link is to, so you can have the list of documents that you need to accompany your application. So later I'll share these links in the chat. But yeah, this is basically what I had to share with you. If you'd like to contact me after today, you can always email me at eileen@micpa.com.my. So just take a screen grab of this and I'll pass the time back to Mr. Chan. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Eileen, for the sharing. I think Eileen have covered most of the content, particularly on the qualification part. So maybe on our side, I would like to highlight and share with everyone, especially representative from the firm, about our design of the program structure, which is relevant not only to the sponsor or employer, but also for students who are here with us. And the second part of the sharing I would like to highlight is more relevant to the employer, on the kind of the sponsorship scheme that what Eileen has mentioned. And on top of that, for those of you who are non-Bumi and you're on your own, so do we have any kind of financial aid for you? The answer is yes. So this is where we are here to share all the information to you, particularly on Term 1 2025 semester. Right, so I'm the head of the department. As I've mentioned a moment ago, I'm also a chartered accountant in Malaysia. I'm the fellow of ACCA as well as the member of ICAEW. And I have been teaching not only for the ACCA program, as what Eileen mentioned a moment ago, as part of the member of the GAA. I am also one of the facilitator for MICPA, approved by CANS and MICPA. I'm also one of the tutors for HKICPA for years in the past, where I used to teach for Big Four in Hong Kong for the Hong Kong Institute of Certified Public Accountant. So now coming back to MICPA CANS, it is not new to me, especially because I understand the design of the Hong Kong CPA qualifications is pretty much just coming from the blueprint of the CANS, just like what MICPA is doing. And I can see the value, especially for students who chose MICPA CANS as one of the career enhancements progress to become the chartered accountant in Malaysia. What I like a lot about this qualification, there is a mixture of activity and assessment method to test out the competency of the students in selected module. It is a kind of a balanced approach of designing for the assessment method. So as a result of that, that provide a better chance, I would say, for students to demonstrate a different strength of skills in taking advantage to get a pass in each and every of the module, especially in the advanced stage of the exam. And that is what it make it definitely possible if you are doing full-time. It is possible to get it done in about slightly more than a year, like what Eileen has mentioned. Of course, with the part-time, the importance to strike a balance between work, family, and study, it's something that you have to just keep an eye to make sure your study plan is realistic and achievable. So therefore, I would totally agree with the 2 to 3 years time is something that is very decent for the working adult. Students should try to make full use on the flexibility in the assessment method, like open book assessment, stuff like that, even though we don't really encourage the student to spend a lot of time in exam to just refer to the book. But this, in fact, serving as one of the flexibility. And since we are highlighting on the flexibility, we also would like to draw your attention that the flexibility is also one of the selling points of our cost structure design. In terms of supporting the students, not only in Klang Valley, but also the students from other parts of Malaysia. Particularly, if firms who have branches outstation, this is definitely the place for you to consider sending a staff to attend our classes on the remote manner, which I'm going to share a little bit more in a moment. And of course, with an integrated approach of the activity on assessment other than exam, workshop-based group discussion, This is what I like a lot because it really groomed the students on multiple aspects of the skill set over here. And definitely subjects that is on fully coursework based. I would suppose this is what a lot of students will like a lot. But I have to be honest, I have to be independent, whereby in this market, in this world, honestly speaking, as a member of a professional body, I honestly believe there is no one single assessment method that is perfect. Whoever that chose to decide to go into any of the professional route or professional qualification, my advice to students is that you must know how to play the game so that you have your game plan. You must have a strategy. And to me, MICPA Kent, what is the game plan? What is the strategy for you to touch the finishing line? My short and simple advice for those of you who are listening to me now, because of the flexibility that you have heard from Eileen just now, I personally would feel commitment and discipline. These are the two that is the key that determining are you able to get through within the shortest possible time and taking the fullest advantage of all a mixture of the activity in the assessment. Again, commitment and discipline. The reason I say so is because that, take for instance, the submission of coursework and assignment. Imagine if you miss the deadline, or imagine if you tend to do work last minute. What is going to happen to you? I don't have to elaborate much. But for students who are well disciplined, well planned ahead, I think this kind of qualifications suit best for them. It is just a right balance, I would say. It is not too much of emphasis and too much of burden over final exam, but you can spread your risk over. This is what I like to use a lot. Risk reduction via diversification. It is something that is possible to be found in MICPA Kent's qualification. Now, coming into our program design, as I mentioned, so this is what I want to touch a bit more, okay? In terms of term 1 semester in the coming year, this is what we are offering for the advanced stage exam. As what Eileen has mentioned, students who are here, who are listening, if you're coming from UOW Malaysia, degree in accounting, you know that your entire degree upon completion, you will get the exemption on the second stage of the exam called PSE, so that you can go straight into the final stage of exam, that is the advanced stage. Of course, students who are coming from other university, as long as your degree is accredited by MICPA, you also would get into the same starting point. Unless you're coming from a non-accredited degree, you may have to start from the PSE. But in UOW Malaysia, what we offer are the subject in ASE by stages. Now, knowing that there are 4 exam windows in MICPA in every year, term 1 to term 4, and only selected subjects will be available for the exam in every term. So what we do to ensure the sustainability for ensuring this program will be able to kickstart and last longer in our establishment, we would therefore much prefer to
Recording
design,
in progress.
we will definitely prefer to design our courses in such a way. We encourage the students when they join UOW Malaysia, stay with us all the way to the end of the journey. Try not to just hope from one place to the other places, because rest assured, in a moment, we're going to show you some testimonial. Why are we so committed and why are we so confident to let you know that, rest assured, come to us, we're going to groom you right from the beginning to the end with the greatest chance of the success. Because of that, to strike a balance between ensuring the success and the great support for the students and also ensuring the sustainability of the program, every term, selected module or selected subject will be offered from UOW Malaysia. So that's why we say students are highly encouraged. Once you come on board with us, stick with us. We are going to make sure that the subject that we offer in every term will allow you to sail through smoothly in every term within the shortest possible time. Take for instance, term 1 2025 intake. These are the 2 subjects that we are offering. Apart from the ethics and business, that is an online self-learn module, we will be coming up with some pre-recorded video to facilitate providing some additional tips and guidance to the student at no charges. As for the other subject, risk and technology, as what Eileen mentioned, which is one of the very tech-savvy subjects over here, we will provide with the classes that is coming with this scheduling. which you can see that all the schedule here are falling on the weekend, particularly Saturday. Okay, and all these classes are designed in such a way that the lecturers will be mainly highlighting the key points and comprehend the entire chunk of the learning material to ensure the students will see the bird's eye view in a more effective and productive manner to prepare not only for the exam but also for coursework based subject like RT. You would be better in preparing to deal with your coursework. And all these classes that we have here are how many hours that we have in one day. The answer is 5 hours, not very, very long, to ensure there is a maximum concentration and maximum efforts or results that are coming from the learning time. And we design this learning time based upon, if you refer to the syllabus guide, take for instance, with one of the subject, which is what we call risk and technology, the total learning hours recommended is 80. The design of our program in UOW Malaysia, we take half of the learning time to become our learning structure so that we will go through half of the time with the student comprehending, drawing the attention how to make this learning more effective. The other half of the learning time, we are very confident if the students want to spend the other 40 hours, go ahead. But rest assured, with our coaching and the guidance, I think the students will have to spend maybe about half of the half. So in other words, our role that create the value for the students and the firm is time saving. We save the students' time, hence it leads to saving on the time for the firm. So that is where we're coming from, our rationales that we're going to instill from the beginning to the end of the project. Okay, so therefore, all these are the subjects in terms of the course design, in terms of the duration. This is how we are being designed for every subject itself, for the entire of the 8 module, especially the one that are being taught by us. And of course, just a heads up for everyone, for the next term onwards, we're going to offer EB and text. So given that, as what Eileen said, the durations of the study for text is relatively longer, so we have more weekends to cover half of the learning time for the students on text. Okay, so you can see that, Mr. Chan, you mentioned that most of the classes are weekend. How come there are classes on the weekdays? And the answer is these are public holidays. But trust me, this is not something like Merdeka Day. It is more like religion-based national public holiday, which we highly encourage the students to come back for classes. Okay, because there's no legislation say that there's no possibility to have classes on this kind of religion-based holiday. So that's why classes are held on this day. But rest assured, as I mentioned, since our classes can support not only the students within the Klang Valley, but also other parts of the country or even outside Malaysia, because all our classes over here, they were all video recorded. Most of the subject, we even do live broadcast via Zoom or Google or Microsoft Teams. So we therefore allow students to attend these classes on a hybrid manner. Okay, meaning students may want to come back to the campus in UOW at Glenmary campus, attend the classes based on this day, or else for any reason they can sit back in any other places remotely to attend the live class if the lecturer on that particular subject can do live broadcast. If for certain reason the lecturer want to stay focused on the class, no worry, because all the classes are video recorded. What the students have to do, for those who cannot make it in the campus, they can watch the video. And all the video are accessible unlimited time right until the exam. I can even tell you officially, not only right until the exam, is right until they pass the exam. Meaning in the event, if they couldn't get through, we will be very likely upon their request to allow and grant them the access on this video for the revision purpose and to guide them and support them until they pass. And not only that, all the students who come on board on the subject in every term, we're going to create a WhatsApp group together with the tutor or the facilitator. So on and off, the students will get support not only in the class, but also outside the class via the communication in the WhatsApp group. So with these, what are the charges like for the tuition fee? For RT, take for instance, this is the fees that we're charging in tuition purposes. So 1,009 is what we charge. And of course, for text, it will go by 3,001. And of course, just to highlight to all the participants, these are the fees that are payable to the professional body. like registrations, particularly the examination. So this is the one that we have here. And then coming back to the financial aids, apart from the one from Peneraju, as I'm going to talk about, and also the HRD Corp Claimable, if students who pay by themselves, self-paid students, I call this a self-paid students, so this is the condition, okay, self-paid students, if they come in a group of 3, they only have to pay for 2. So indirectly, I'm telling you, as long as they come in a group of 3, the discount is about 1/3. So that is what we're having. And there's another part that we also would like to assure the students is that we may want to cap the class size up to 40. So in other words, when the class size is met, we're going to close the enrollment. That's it. Okay. At the moment, I cannot be too ambitious saying I'm going to open the second class. There's no second class. If the class size is full, we will close. So that is what we're going to do to ensure there's a quality of the delivery and also putting in and dedicate sufficient time to support the students. Okay, so this is all that we design on our program itself. Now, of course, if you ask, especially HR, how are we going to monitor the attendance of the students? We have ways. But of course, if the HR is going to ask me later on, I'm going to share with you. But definitely, if you need monitoring to take a look at the students' performance in terms of their attendance, especially, we will be able to provide you attendance reports. And we have ways to take the attendance, whether they are in the class physically or they are outside the class physically. We do have mechanism for attendance taking. Now, this is just a bird's eye view on the overall fee structure for the entire MICPA program in UOW Malaysia. So as you can see,
Recording stopped.
the one that we had just now was only for term 1. So these are the figures that were found in the earlier slide. But imagine if the students were to stay with us continuously from the beginning to the end, apart from the first subject and the last subject, which there's no charges because virtually there's no classes. And all these are more like self-learn module, and all the learning content are from CANZ and the MICPA itself. So therefore, there's no charges here. But the rest of the subject, there will be charges because there will be classes that is conducted. And the subject that we offer in every term, it goes in this manner. So that's why we say we encourage the students to stay with us from the beginning to the end. And rest assured, our timetabling, our arrangements of classes, subject offer will best meet your needs of learning. And of course, apart from the fees that paid to UOW Malaysia, which is less than 12,000, we have the fees for your reference that paid to the professional body, particularly the subject fee, I would say, including some of the registration fee and annual fee. So all in, if the students is able to clear up at one attempt, so this is the total cost for them. Adding up the two figures together, that is the total cost for a candidate in pursuing the MICPA CANZ qualification with us in UOW Malaysia. So less than 31,000 is the cost to be spent on each candidate. And of course, usually during the first class, even though we know students will know all these things from MICPA, we will still take our effort to remind the students about all the date. That's why I said to you earlier on, commitment and discipline is something that is key to make sure that you manage to win the game, win the race easily. You have to make sure that students especially keep an eye on all these deadlines. Make sure no matter what happens, fulfill the deadline, particularly in completing and submitting your assignment and attending your workshop. Make sure you don't miss it. So that is the secret in getting through the exam smoothly. So all our design on the faculties of the teaching content is very much rely on the content of the syllabus and also the course learning material provided by MICPA CANZ. And just to let you know, all our tutor and all our facilitator are approved by MICPA CANZ, and all these tutors are all professionally qualified. Some of them are even holding certain presidential role in some of the professional body in the past in Malaysia. So these are our faculty team, including me myself. Okay, and usually this is what we normally tell the students so that they can make up their mind and make the decisions much clearer. As you may know, in UOW Malaysia, these are the two qualifications that we offer. So we do put them side by side for the students to see clearly what exactly are the differences. What I like a lot about MICPA is actually the passing rate, as what Eileen has shared just now. I think that this is definitely one of the key factors that students may need to consider when you want to make up the decision which of the qualifications to go. For employer and also some of the self-funded students, you may want to just take note on this. Apart from the package fees benefit that I mentioned, this is other financial aids. Now, for MICPA, hence, we do allow the students to withdraw the EPF to make the payment for the subject fee that pay to UOW Malaysia, but there is no applications from PTPTN to pursue the study in MICPA. However, our MICPA program on ASE, all the subject, especially that we offer in UOW Malaysia, it is HRDC claimable. In other words, what we can do is to provide all the document to the employer, and then employer will just keep the record and endorse it. We, UOW Malaysia, will do the claiming part on our end for the tuition fee that the employer is supposed to pay. So this is the kind of the process that we're going through. We also recognize the effort that what Eileen mentioned just now. Should our students claim to be the prize winner on a particular module, we may waive the tuition fee of the next subject that they will enroll on the next semester. So that is to recognize the effort and the achievement being the prize winner. And other than that, partial funding, especially for students who are under Bumiputera category, we are one of the learning provider that can take on students who are going under partial funding, supported by Yayasan Peneraju. So these are the ranges of the financial aids that we provide to our students who pursue MICPA Cairns. Now, as I've mentioned, we are confident and we are committed to provide and deliver the best quality of the learning support to the students, as endorsed by other qualifications like ACCA, being the top and the most prestigious learning provider. I'm pretty sure with MICPA, with the great support from MICPA team led by Gilbert and Eileen, we are confident or we're committed to provide the best to our students in pursuing MICPA Cairns qualification. Well, for more details, you may want to go into our website. You can see the www.uow.edu.my, and you can choose the MICPA Cairns qualifications and click in there to see more details on how we develop and how we design our program in more detail. And this is just to highlight to employer that our program, the entire of the MICPA Cairns under the ASE stage, they are already under the HRD Corp Claimable program itself. And as mentioned by Eileen, our MICPA Cairns is actually part of the programs that's supported by Yayasan Peneraju that is eligible for all the Bumiputera who have met these criteria, especially the CGPA that mentioned, especially for the fresh grads who have yet to start work. This is the pipeline they can apply under Spring. And of course, if you go into our website, you can see that this is the link on the website. Go in there, and then there is a click apply here, and make sure you apply to this sponsorship before or latest on 29 October, which is end of this month. However, for firm sponsored or working adults, this is another program and pipeline that Eileen has mentioned, the push for the fresh working adults. If firm would wish the candidates to get supported by Yayasan Peneraju, that is the scholarship scheme that we would support basically on push scheme. Again, this is the entry requirement. If you want to know more detail, just go into our website link for more detail. Okay, again, for non-Bumi, remember, you enroll in the group of 3, you will pay at the price of 2. So that is a very good deal for students who come on board. And if, let's say, you are taking up the MICPA Cairns with us, even though our classes on the part-time basis or weekend, we allow full-time students to enjoy by attending this kind of career development program. I would call this as a guest lecture that is hosted and conducted by industry speaker from Big 5 that we actually work very closely with. And they will come over in every 6 months for 2 of the guest lecture, delivering subject matter containing to emerging issue, current issue on not only accounting standard, but all ranges of professional topic that is of concern to our professional students. So this is the entire campus where we are at, Glenmary campus. As I said, when the classes is held on the weekend, it will be on this building. And definitely all the classes are video recorded. So it will be hosted to our learning management platform by the name of Open Learning. The students will be guided how to access to all the videos once they come on board to re-watch back all the videos. And in case some students who cannot make it for the live class, they can always watch the video at our learning management platform, as mentioned a moment ago. So this is where exactly our location is, and accessibility via the public transport, connecting with our shuttle bus, all these things are available. So my last piece of advice for students who are listening over here, if you aim and dream to be one of the professional accountant to make up the gap that what Eileen has pointed out to you, start acting now and take up the first move. Consider joining into MICPA Cairns the moment you are about to complete your year 3 study. So if you ask me, Mr. Chan, I'm now doing my degree in the final year. When can I do my MICPA Cairns qualification? I always say the moment that you are at the final semester or during your internship, you may want to consider enrolling for MICPA already, getting yourself ready. The moment you have finished up and cleared up all the subject, you're waiting for the last stage, especially your internship, that is where you can start going into the MICPA Cairns on the advanced stage exam already. If not, wait until you finish the entire degree, then you come on board. That is perfectly fine as well. Anyway, that would be all my sharing today. And if you want to know more about our campus, our course design, this is once again our website address. And feel free to follow our social media channel. And also this is our contact detail, particularly our email address over here and our WhatsApp number. So please take a snapshot on that. If you have questions for us, feel free to just drop us an email or drop us a WhatsApp message. We're more than happy to answer your queries about Term 1 2025 intake for MICPA Cairns program. Okay, I see there is a questions in the chat box here, so maybe I'll just want to take on if I have. Okay, all right, good, very good. So I think this is actually the kind of the link that we actually posted on the WhatsApp group. Thank you very much, Eileen, who shared the link to everyone, especially students who want to just take a look and fill in your particular on the form by clicking into the link posted by Eileen. Okay, so the last sessions for the day, open the floor for the Q&A session. So do we have questions from the floor? Representative from the firm, if you have questions for me, feel free to ask. Students, if you have questions, feel free to ask as well. So Eileen, before we take on or waiting for the Q&A, do you have anything to add on your side, Eileen?
I think it was clear. I think I just want to confirm that you mentioned that the classes at UOW are on a hybrid basis, so they can attend live online as well,
Yes,
correct?
yes, correct. As I say, we try to make most of the subjects with this kind of live streaming. But as I said, we cannot guarantee because some of the lecturers, they prefer to stay focused in the class. So we actually give some flexibility, but so far, I would say that most of the subject will be able to do it on the live online. When they have the class in the campus, they also do the broadcast at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'll be very helpful for especially those outstation.
Outstation, and especially those on the audit job, they don't have to rush back and then go back home. Go back to the client place. So this is what we also would like to consider to provide the flexibility that is in line with what the tagline of MICPA Cairns at the beginning of the video.
Yeah, and we did have a look at the open learning system. So I think it's pretty user friendly and the students should benefit a lot from having this facility.
True, I agree. Especially with all this kind of support, students will be able to carry on as what the video mentioned, wherever, whenever, and however they want to carry on with the study. But to me, I always believe in one thing: the commitment and the discipline is the key to get through this exam. It may not be as difficult comparing to other professional qualification with just one exam, but it doesn't mean that, well, you can just take it easy for MICPA Cairns. You still need a series of commitment and perseverance to make sure that you meet all the deadlines, which you can see just now. Then that is how you play the game correctly, right?
Mr. Chan, there's a question from Vanessa in the chat.
Yeah, I
Can
see.
I just watch the pre-recorded videos only? So I don't think that's pre-recorded, is there?
When we say pre-recorded video, I suppose, Vanessa, you're referring to you're not attending the live class, but you enroll to our program. You just prefer to watch the video that we record during the lecture at your own convenience and pace. Am I right to say so, Vanessa? You're referring to that? Yeah, perfectly fine. So we give this kind of flexibility to the students. As long as you are paying on your own, then you're fine. But if let's say you are on any kind of sponsorship, you need to communicate with your employer or your sponsor. If your sponsor allow and agree on that, we're fine. So in this part, we're quite flexible on that. That's why I say, if you are committed, you're disciplined, we have no worry that, hey, I have to go after you and say, have you watched the video or not? You should know your commitment and your responsibility. You should watch, yeah? So no problem, Vanessa, yeah?
If there is no sponsor, would attendance be tracked by UOW?
We will still do attendance taking. We will. But of course, if you say, would it be any implications to you? No implication, because this is more on a kind of a professional qualification. Students are supposed to take their full responsibility for their own performances, but we will still do attendance taking. Yeah, Vanessa, if in case you were asked that, how do we do attendance taking for the pre-record video watching? The answer is that we usually will do the attendance taking just like a lot of seminar nowadays. If they're doing virtually, like within several number of hours, there are some questions that you have to answer. So we have a team back end to look at your response. And if you're able to respond within the stipulated time, we take it as a present on the attendance taking. Yeah. So I hope that answers your questions, Vanessa. Okay. What else do I have in the chat box?
That's all for now. Anyone have questions? Please feel free to ask. There's a few
I have
minutes left.
Wen has a question directly to me. For the sponsorship, would it normally be full sponsored? Wen, are you referring to Yayasan Peneraju sponsorship? If you're referring to Yayasan Peneraju sponsorship, the answer is yes, full sponsor. But again, that sponsorship is mainly applicable for Bumiputera. But for non-Bumi, the financial aids that we provide is that you come in 3, you only pay for 2. So then you can share the discount among 3 of the students that come in one shot. For Yayasan Sarawak, it depends on the deal for Yayasan Sarawak. It is very much dependent on the conditions that set by Yayasan Sarawak. So it is not within our say what are the fees they cover. If let's say Yayasan Sarawak say they cover all the fees, including the tuition fee plus the external fee, then you get all covered. So it is depending on the condition from Yayasan Sarawak. Yeah, Wen? So not
I can answer that on the Yayasan
yes, go ahead.
Sarawak one.
Yeah,
So up to 2025,
Mhm.
they will be covering 50% of the fee. So it's like a sponsorship loan arrangement where they will give you all the funding required, but you will need to pay back 50% upon completion, and it's in installments. But from 2026 onwards, it will be 100% scholarship.
So that sounds good. I think that
Yeah.
when you already have got the answer for that, but of course that doesn't mean that should you wait until 2026 to what do you think, Eileen, on this?
Yeah, I think if 100%, then a 1 year wait might be worth it.
So, but to you, you may have to wait between the value on the scholarship that you get from Yayasan Sarawak and the time,
The opportunity
the opportunity
cost.
cost,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So how about colleagues from the firm? If you have a questions for me, you can ask me either now openly, or you can just we can take a side and you can just respond to us by responding to Mei Fong via email. That's not a problem. We are more than happy to answer your questions in private. Okay, so do we have any more questions on the floor at this moment? Maybe
Any questions?
yeah, any more questions from
Yeah,
the
you
floor?
can unmute and just
Yeah, just speak
verbally
up, no
ask. That's
problem.
fine
Yeah.
also.
Now, I assume that some of you who are here who are students from different background, a bit of tips for you in ensuring that you can really sail through the MICPA CANS qualification and really benefit from it. Apart from the commitment and discipline that I mentioned to you, remember the video that what Eileen showed a moment ago on the My Capability, and if you hear it very clearly, it has a global network. I think this is one of the added advantage that you may want to grab hold of it, because not every professional body would have this kind of opportunity for you to group with the students from different part of the world. But with this kind of learning method in a virtual manner, I think it opened the door to the world. It is borderless. So take the chance to create your network cross border. I think these are the bonus that you can grab hold of by completing your MICPA CANS. You never know what kind of opportunity they open to you, particularly with the GAA network. You never know what kind of work opportunity that appeared in different part of the world to you. You see, so to me, I would definitely take note of this. I would definitely think about how I want to take advantage of this kind of network opportunity. For those of you who are listening as a students, that is something I would like to consider a lot. And also for working adults, I know sounds a little bit of harsh. It is not easy to balance between work and study, that's for sure, for working adult. But sometimes if you need to sacrifice certain things, you have to, if you want to really achieve something within the timeline. So for working adult, other than commitment, other than determination and discipline, sacrifice is some things that I don't like to use the word, but the fact is that you have got to be prepared to sacrifice something at certain point of time, particularly when it comes to those kind of challenging subject that you're not so familiar with. Take for example tax. Even though it is just tax, it is not as simple as calculate how much is the tax payable. It is a lot more on the tax planning matters and a lot of things that you have to get yourself very familiar with. Even though it is open book, look at the number of the week of study, you can already expect the amount of load and expectation on that. And then the other advice I also want to give is the pass rate. I know the pass rate is high, 80%. Now, from my experience of teaching, I always tell the students, pass rate is just a number. To you, the chances of passing is either 0 or 100%. That's all. It's not 80%, it's not 95%. To me, you do it properly, the chances of passing is almost guaranteed. But if you're not doing your work properly, 0. So that is how I tell myself if I'm the working adult. 0 or 100%, that's it. It is a mutually exclusive kind of outcome. It is not somewhere in the middle, obviously. Okay, so this is all about my sharing at this moment. So last round before we end the session, Eileen, do you have the last piece of advice for the students?
This program is a very good one, which I would say opens the most doors for you. So not just in Malaysia, but globally, and especially Australia and New Zealand. If any of you are thinking one day you want to work there, this program is what can open those doors because they prefer CA ANZ in Australia and New Zealand. So really, you only need to choose one program to help set the course of your future. So to me, this is the best option. You get the best of all worlds.
Yeah, well said. Okay, so I think that's all for the time today that we have here. Time flies, obviously. I hope that everyone who is here get a very fruitful sessions from both Eileen and myself to prepare to support you all the way that we can. Hopefully, we can really see the success in each and every one of you to become a member of MICPA CANS one day. And with that, thank you very much all. And thank you for the time. Representative from the firm, thank you very much. Appreciate much. Yeah. Hope that we can keep in touch again to see if we can support any of the staff from the firm. And with that, thank you very much all. Have a good day. Thank you very much, Eileen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Shah.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
UOW.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.